high-level West End style shows, piano bars, DJs, nightclubs, movies under the stars, live music, comedy shows, karaoke and celebrity performances are just a small example of some of the entertainment that you can find on a cruise. So this week we are going to pick our 5 favourite cruise lines for entertainment and give you all the information we can on why we think they're so great. So hello and welcome to Planet Cruise Weekly with Keith and
Glenn.
Now today it's all about entertainment, and the entertainment on board has been getting better and better and better
Since you got off.
year on year. There's more and more to do, there's more and more to experience. And so what we're doing is we're going to look at 5 cruise lines which we feel offer something a bit different, 5 of our favourites. Don't get me wrong, every single cruise line out there will offer you entertainment, and it's excellent and it's good fun, but we're going to pick 5 today. Now if there's one that you see on today that you don't agree with, or there's one you feel we've missed out, then do get in touch in the comments below and tell us why. We do want your feedback and your opinions.
Now also we're focusing on the different types of shows and the things you can do. Now we aren't going to include things like laser tag and go-karts because the video would take too long. Once he starts to get going we could be here all day. But we will be making an episode on a later date for that one. Now these are a few of the shows people here at Planet Cruise really like to see when they've been on a cruise.
My favourite show when I was on board was Hairspray, which I saw on Symphony of the Seas.
My favourite production show on board a cruise ship is Magic to Do. You can check this one out on the Emerald Princess.
So my favourite show that I've seen on a cruise ship is probably Jersey Boys on MSC Seaside.
My favourite onboard entertainment was on Azamara Pursuit, where they had an amazing range of live bands and music artists on board.
Hey, my favourite entertainment on a cruise ship was Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas on the Aqua Theatre. It's amazing, go check it out.
My favourite show that I saw on a cruise ship was the Cosmopolitan on the Celebrity Constellation.
So my favourite show was on P&O. It was by a group called Masters of the House, who were original cast members from Les Miserables in the West End.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. It's simple. Ding, dong, and it's done.
Now, is it surprising that the cruise line which has the world's largest ship in the world has also one of the best types of entertainment? There is so much that you can do with Royal Caribbean, so we are going to list some of them and go into a bit of detail on some of our favourite bits. First of all, there's the West End style musical shows. There's the Aqua Theatre, there's ice shows, there's 270, and there's even comedy shows.
Some of these are subject to change, but at the moment Royal Caribbean have a long list of West End quality shows.
Tony Award winning
shows. And again, my favourite of these is Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever.
But they also have We Will Rock You.
Rock you.
Grease.
Come on, loving happens so fast.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma mia, let me let you go, mama.
Yeah,
I can't sing.
And you were never in the show, so he was a cruise director. Also got Hairspray and Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats.
Meow.
He's wearing one today.
Now, another great aspect of Royal Caribbean is their Aqua Theatre. It's an outdoor amphitheatre at the back of the ship, which is really a once-in-a-lifetime cruise entertainment experience, which if you're on board, you mustn't miss. The stage drops away for a dazzling display of synchronised swimming, high-diving acrobatics, trampolining and breathtaking light shows, all set against a stunning backdrop of the sky and the sea. And this is exclusive to Royal Caribbean's Oasis, Harmony and Allure of the Seas.
It is.
And they are professionals. These are professional performers. You really are getting something which is completely unique on board a ship.
Now, believe it or not, on top of being able to skate yourselves, there are ice skating shows on Royal Caribbean ships. Now, these are ice skating spectaculars on the onboard ice rink, funny enough, featuring the finest professional ice skaters from around the world. The shows are choreographed, filmed with amazing spins, leaps and lifts. These are part of Oasis, Freedom and Voyager class ships, such as Enchantment of the Seas and Voyager of the Seas.
Another award-winning, incredible venue experience with Royal Caribbean on certain ships is 270, and this brings the very best of video projection, robotics and human artistry to the stage. Royal Caribbean's 270 is a 2-deck high venue at the back of the ship, and it's named for the 270-degree sea views out of the giant floor-to-ceiling windows. So it's incredible by day just to sit there, have a coffee for sailaways and arrivals. But in the evening, the windows transform into Vistarama, an Ultra HD screen more than 100 foot wide and 20 foot tall. Vistarama's 12K resolution is nearly twice that of any IMAX screen.
Now in front of this backdrop, 6 robotic screens or robo screens are fixed to a scaffold located above a circular multi-level stage. Each is attached to a robotic arm that is programmed with as many movements as a human arm, calibrated to within a thousandth of a millimetre so they can move in sync or independently of each other. It's something to behold.
And the technology is actually the same technology they're using for the Mars landings and the Mars projects with NASA. It's groundbreaking, it's really incredible. So the 2 sets of screens are used to project fantastical images or backdrops to complement the singers, dancers and acrobats that are performing the shows. The robot screens move with fluidity that's almost human and can almost become characters in the show as well as dancing scenery.
Now we would suggest you come early to snag a good seat. The first row of the balcony is ideal. Now if you sit in the couches along the aisles, you might be serenaded or pulled up to dance by a performer. If this is not your idea of a good time, choose a seat elsewhere. 270 is found on Royal Caribbean, I think the best ship in the world. Anthem, Ovation and Quantum of the Seas.
Which one? Anthem, Ovation?
Anthem.
Anthem.
Yeah, first one we went on, absolutely phenomenal.
Now another great part of the Royal Caribbean entertainment offering is what they call movies at sea. So movie lovers can catch the latest must-see flicks in stunning cinemas, now showing action in awe-inspiring 3D. And if you don't fancy leaving the pool, you can check out the big game or blockbuster movie on the new outdoor screens, which are hoisted high above the deck. Now the 3D aspect of Royal Caribbean cinema at sea is what really stands out. They have a partnership with DreamWorks, which is another example of why they're one of my favourite cruise lines for families. And in fact, I actually suggested them as the first cruise line to choose for families in this tips video. So click the link above to watch that. As they have a partnership, there's plenty of things you can do, like meeting the characters from the DreamWorks films, but my favourite is the Madagascar parades and the Aqua Show. And you can also have character meals and interactions too.
Now the whole idea of cruising with Carnival is to have fun and be entertained in doing so. That's why there's lots of things you can go and see and get involved of when you're on board. Again, like Royal Caribbean, we can't list everything, but here's some of the favourite bits about Carnival Cruise Line's entertainment.
So the first is something which, for those of us from the UK, you may not be as familiar with this, but it's huge in the US. It's called Lip Sync Battle.
They do have it in the UK.
They do, but it's just not as popular. There's a TV show basically hosted by Jimmy Fallon in the US, and on a cruise ship it's usually hosted by one of the entertainment staff, and it's exactly like the show. Guests mime a favourite song and choreograph a dance to go along with it, and it can really turn out to be quite amusing. Now, Carnival Cruise Line are the first cruise line to have an IMAX cinema on their ship. And that ship was Carnival Vista. There's also one on Carnival Horizon.
Yeah, I haven't been on
that one, okay. You'll find a world of first-run Hollywood blockbusters shown, recent hit films, and of course very well-known IMAX documentaries. And these are said to be all in a huge format that makes normal theatres pretty much look like your smartphone screen.
Carnival Live Cruises give you a chance to see an all-time favourite musician or comedian and who will put on an amazing show for you. And for the entire cruises, you're in good company. You'll be sailing with a ship full of fellow fans. Now, past shows have included musical legends such as Lionel Richie, Leanne Rimes, Jennifer Hudson, Gladys Knight, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Journey, Olivia Newton-John and so many more. So depending on who you fancy, you've got a chance to see them as well on board. From Yahtzee bowling to Connect 4 basketball, Operations Sam Dunk and Simon Flash. You can team up with your friends and family to win great prizes, all in front of a live audience. Not only this, but by competing, there will be a selection of prizes you can also win. The entertainment here is a chance to show you can be part of your own special game show.
On the kind of game show front, there's also a really good one on board which I love called Clue, and this is actually based on Cluedo, hence the name. There are entertainers who play the characters, and you'll basically be watching an interactive live action version of a murder mystery take place in front of you.
Then we come to Playlist Productions. Now, when was the last time you got up and danced at the theatre?
Yesterday.
Yeah, I bet you did. Playlist Productions take tunes you know and present them like you've never experienced before. Past favourites become full-blown musical productions featuring singers and dancers bringing down the house. These shows are so great they include the big lights and LED walls and even pyro on top of a big American-style production.
Another great aspect of cruising with Carnival is the Punchliner comedy clubs. There's different types of shows with different types of comedians. So you've got stuff that's family friendly, that's more daytime based, and then stuff late evening, which is more kind of adult focused. And the other great thing about them, of course, is that the comedians change every week. So it doesn't matter if you're doing, however many cruises you're doing with Carnival, you're going to get a different experience, a different comedy show each time.
Now moving on to NCL, or Norwegian Cruise Lines. Now, they were actually voted the best cruise line for entertainment by Cruise Critic, which is no mean feat. And when it comes to the award-winning entertainment on board Norwegian Cruise Line ships, you won't believe your eyes or even your ears.
A key thing of what makes Norwegian Cruise Lines such a strong offering when it comes to entertainment is the fact that there's such a massive variety of different types of entertainment on board. Most of the shows, as with most cruise lines, are included in the price. There are a couple that you pay a bit extra for, and they're because they include food and sometimes wine, such as Wine Lovers, the musical.
Done.
Say no more.
Table for two, please.
Yes.
Big stage productions range from Broadway hits to Las Vegas style song and dance reviews with songs you know by heart and Cirque du Soleil style acrobats and aerialist acts. That's not easy to say. There's so much entertainment with Norwegian that it's impossible to go through everything for every single ship. So what we're going to do is go through the most current lists of different shows and give you a few of our personal favourites.
So two ones really stick out for me. First one is Rock of Ages, which is on Norwegian Breakaway. It's a popular Broadway hit which sets the rock anthems of the 1980s to a Hollywood rock and roll love story. Then there's Jersey Boys, which is on Bliss.
At my wedding.
You had them at your wedding? The original Jersey Boys?
Oh, they sang at my wedding. I'm not saying the original ones.
He's how old he is now. He's really letting it out. So there you can follow the incredible true story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons in the first ever Jersey Boys production at sea. It's a Tony Award winning Broadway show, and it will really rock your night with timeless hits like Big Girls Don't Cry, good one for you, Walk Like a Man,
good one for you.
You beat me to it, and Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
Nor Would Day Out Between the Two of Us. Now, keeping with the theme for Keith, this is his favourite, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert on Norwegian Epic. The hit Broadway musical tells the story of three drag queens making their way to the resort in Alice Springs, Australia for a show and features a slew of well-known pop hits. Also, we have Band on the Run on Norwegian Jewel and Norwegian Star, and its traditional song and dance review. Band on the Run spans decades and focuses on all kinds of musical groups, including The Temptation, Casey and the Sunshine Band, your favourite The Village People, Paul McCartney and the Wings, Styx, and of course Eagles.
Now you also get, for the record, the Brat Pack on Norwegian Escape, and this is a fun romp through everyone's favourite 1980s films, and includes classic scenes from things like The 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Say Anything, and many, many others.
Okay, moving on to my personal favourite, and I actually went to see this in the West End when it was on, is $1 Million Quartet, and this is on Norwegian Getaway. Now, this jukebox musical ran on Broadway and the West End and dramatises the 1956 recording sessions that featured not only Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, but my favourite, Jerry Lee Lewis and Cole Perkins. The show features a selection of these artists' greatest hits, including, of course, Blue Suede Shoes, I Walk the Line, and Great Balls of Fire. Now, Cirque Dreams Epicurean is on Norwegian Epic, and this is held in the ship's Spiegel tent. This is the classic version of the for free Cirque Dreams and dinner show that features an evening of gravity-defying acrobats, plus strengths and aerial acts as well.
Now, keeping with the Cirque du Soleil theme, there's also Cirque Dreams Jungle Fantasy, which is on Norwegian Breakaway. This version of the for-fee Cirque Dreams and Dinner show is held again in the Spiegel tent. It uses a jungle adventure as a backdrop for its jaw-dropping acrobatic acts with performers who are decked out in various jungle animal outfits. There's also Cirque Dreams Steam, which is on board Norwegian Getaway, and again located in the Spiegel tent. And this is another variety of the dinner show, and this is a kind of steampunk adventure inspired by science fiction and Victorian fashion. Costumes and variety acts are really fun and over the top.
Now, I didn't even know about this, but I am definitely going to pay for this. I don't care what ship it's on, but this is on the Breakaway and also on the Getaway and Escape, and this is The Wine Lovers, the musical. This musical comedy luncheon, held in the supper club or the Spiegel tent, depending on the ship, follows the budding romance of a guy and a girl at a wine class. This is a for-fee experience including 6 tasting glasses of wine, and let's be honest, who cares about the theme after that?
Now, I know it sounds a little bit listy, but we didn't honestly know how to really do it justice with Norwegian Cruise Lines. There's so much variety, and this video has to be so compact and short, we couldn't get everything in on the ship. So if there's anything we've missed, please do get in contact and let us know in the comments section below. Okay, next up we're going to talk about Cunard, a very different experience from Norwegian Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean and Carnival, but not worse for it, just a different kind of taste. For a start with Cunard, the theatres are proper Matcham style theatres that you would see in the West End. They are beautiful and the shows are more traditional. They're not Tony Award winning shows pulled from the West End, they're created specially for Cunard.
Now, moving on to dancing. Now, the dancing that you can take part in on a Cunard cruise is very exciting. Queen Mary 2 has the perfect place to dance the night away, and here's your opportunity to foxtrot in the largest ballroom at sea.
Now, keeping with that dancing theme and that idea of elegance that Cunard really brings to the cruise industry, we've got the Royal Night themed balls in the magnificent Queen's Room, and these are your chance to don your formal dancing attire, take to the floor in a sea of glittering ball gowns and dinner jackets, accompanied by a marvellous orchestra. And this is one of the big differences with Cunard, is the fact that they do have 2 full orchestras, one for the main show lounge, another one that stays in the Queen's Room, and that feeling and sound of live music really does make a difference when so many ships and companies are just going off a track. Whether you're a complete novice or simply wish to brush up your skills, there are daily complimentary dance lessons led by professional dance couples on board, and this is a great way to really polish up your skills and give you the confidence to step out in the evening and try a few new moves. Another big thing we haven't mentioned as well, they have in the main theatre is plays as well, and this is something again where Cunard differ from the rest of the industry, is they put on actual dedicated plays in the show in the show lounges, and again that's very different to the kind of normal musical dance orientated entertainment that other companies focus on. Now, wherever you go on board with Cunard, you'll likely hear live music drifting through the air. Pianists, harpists, string quartets, jazz ensembles, contemporary bands. We talked about the 2 orchestras. They're all on board playing night and day.
Now, the string quartet is the perfect accompaniment to the white-gloved afternoon tea in the Queen's Room, and also sets the tone for the sparkling Royal Night themed balls. You can relax to the sultry sounds of the resident jazz band while you savour pre-dinner canapes and aperitifs. And in each evening there's a soft, relaxing music from the beautiful ivory keys played by Cunard's talented resident pianist.
Now, of course, we've already mentioned the fact that all the shows in the theatre are created specifically for Cunard, so they're bespoke shows, which is really big positive. Of course, the team are pulled from the very best of the dance schools and the acting schools around the UK, and so therefore you're really getting a sense of the West End brought on board. But the theatre also plays host to a variety of high-profile guest performers, comedy acts and variety artists and opera singers and world-class musicians all grace the stage on a weekly basis.
Now, Holland America, let's move on to those. And I think in the British market, not a lot's known about Holland America, but they are fantastic. Now, Holland America's upped its entertainment game with a trio of impressive partnerships that bring world-class entertainment to its music walk complex on every night of every sailing on select ships. You've got BB King's Blues Club. Direct from Beale Street, BB King's All-Stars bring you the best of Memphis music to the sea. From funky and fast to soulful and smooth, this 8-piece band performs in BB King's Blues Club in the Queen's Lounge, where you can enjoy specialty cocktails like the Lucille and Rock Me Baby.
Also, on selected Holland America ships, there are some incredible chamber music performances by classically trained violinists, and cellists and pianists. These world-class musicians perform multiple ensembles nightly and even play afternoon recitals during leisurely days at sea. Our favourite, of course, is listening to the strings and quartet play famous scores while sitting and having a nice cup of tea, in my case, or a nice bottle of wine in Glen's.
Moving on to Billboard on Board. That's easy to say again. Now, this showcases the talent of live musicians, including 2 pianists, a guitarist and a DJ, who take turns performing dynamic shows centred around the interesting facts and figures of the music industry as chronicled by Billboard. Guests can sing and play along with trivia questions presented on screens throughout the room.
So that was our list. As we said before, I'm sure that some of you will have very different opinions. It's subjective, it's opinion based, and there are loads of different cruise lines that we could have put in instead of them. We could have taken some out. We could have put Morella Cruises in, we could have put MSC in, we could have put Princess in. There's so many different cruise lines. So get in touch, tell us which ones you wouldn't have put in, which ones you would have put in,
and also,
why.
what do you think's better, shore excursions or entertainment on board a ship? What's more important?
Entertainment every time, I'm sure everyone's going to say that. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, this is Planet Cruise Weekly. You dream it, we plan it. Hi everyone, thanks very much for watching the video. Please don't forget to comment and subscribe below, and remember to click the bell to get those notifications turned on. And if you're looking for more fantastic travel content like this, then click on the videos to the right. It will be really, really informative. Or you can click on the Planet logo to the left and go to our website for some really fantastic deals. Thanks for watching.